Hello, I hope you're doing well today. My name is Josh and I'm part of the customer success team over at CourtReserve, and this video is going to go over setting up Book a Pro. If you have any questions on this video, please feel free to reach out over at live chat. That will be this green icon that's in the top right corner. So to set up Book a Pro, you'll want to go over to settings on the sidebar and then instructor settings, and then over all the way to the right you'll see the Book a Pro setup button. When you are here, you will be taken to that setup page to create this scheduler. You'll be able to create the name of the scheduler, also the navigation name in the member portal. So if you would like that to be a different name, you can make it different on the member side. And then here with these fields, this will really depend on how you want to set up your Book a Pro schedulers. Some organizations will do a different scheduler for each of their individuals or for each of their instructors. Some organizations will filter it by the lesson type. So there's one scheduler for private lessons, one for semi-private, and then some organizations will just have one scheduler for all of their instructors. So here you'll be able to filter the scheduler by instructor type. So maybe you have yoga classes and you have a yoga pro and you want a yoga scheduler. You would be able to pick that pro type here and then create this scheduler only for that specific type of pro. We also have the instructors page. So here is going to be where you select all of the instructors. So if you wanted only one instructor here, you would just want to click that one instructor, or you can leave it blank and have all instructors on the same scheduler. Next, we have the lesson types. Again, if you leave this blank, all lesson types that are public for members will show here. You can also filter it to only show, select types of lessons if you would like to. We also have the lesson types that require approval. Unlike these other fields, this one is not going to be an all if left blank. So if you are going to be requiring approval for all of your lesson types, you will need to individually go in and check them all off. Next, we have the court preferences. So this is going to be how the player or the system selects that court. We have system selection, so this will allow the system to pick whatever court is available for when that member books. We have the player selection, so that will give the player a court field and they will have to manually select which court they're going to be having their lesson on. We have the court optional. This would work if you allow members to pick a court, but if not, then an admin can pick one on the back end after the lesson is booked. And then we also have show no courts, require no court selection. This would be used if you are planning on having admins select all of the courts for the lessons, or if you don't really pick the court until the player arrives and then from there you see what's available. Now we have the scheduler booking type. So you could do a view-only calendar where members can see the availability, but then from there they would need to call you to book their lesson. Or you can do view plus scheduling lessons. This will allow members to book their own lessons from the member portal. Now we have show scheduler to following memberships. This will be all if left blank. So if you had only specific memberships that were allowed to book lessons, here is where you would want to select those memberships. If you have a specific membership that is not allowed to, like maybe you have a guest membership, you would want to go here and just skip over that membership when creating this Book a Pro scheduler. You can also require payment profile or upfront payments. So requiring a payment profile is going to require the member to add a credit card on file for their account that will be saved on the admin side. You can also require upfront payment, which will require the member to pay for their lesson before they can finalize the booking. We also have the time in advance an instructor can be scheduled. So here, if we put 7 days, members will only be able to book 7 days out for lessons. Same with the days in advance to show instructor availability. This is just going to be how many days out they can see on that scheduler. So maybe the players will be able to see 2 weeks out, but they can only book for 1 week in advance. Time to open next available day. If left blank, will open your next available day at midnight. If you would like it to be later, maybe you want that next available day to open when your facility opens, you could have it set so at 7 a.m. is when that next day will open up. Allow X minutes of buffer time before scheduling a lesson. If you would not like your members to book any last minute lessons, if you would like to require that they book 2 hours in advance at least, you could set 120 minutes to this setting, and that will require the member to have some buffer time between when they book and when their lesson actually is. Show times on schedule button. If left blank, the time slot will just have a reserve text in the center of it. If you show the times, that will just show the times for that specific time slot. So, if I'm booking for 10 to 11, it will say 10 to 11 on the scheduler. We also have the scheduler intervals. Typically, we recommend keeping this to the same intervals that you use for your lesson types. Just makes it easier on the member's end when they are booking. But you'll be able to choose, from 15 to 360 minutes here. You can also choose when the scheduler shows and when members will be able to book. So, if you're only doing lessons for a limited time, you would be able to say, let's say November 1st, members will be able to now see the scheduler, but they won't be able to actually book until, November 4th. And then, if you're ever ending when you're going to be doing lessons, you can put that end date here as well. You can also hide lesson details. So instead of the member's lesson showing on the scheduler, it will just be a gray block that says reserved. If your members don't want to have other members seeing when they book, this would be one reason to use this setting. And then you can also choose to allow lesson cancellations or edits. Both of those are optional. You can either check them or uncheck them. But you'll also be able to prevent members from canceling within X amount of hours if you allow cancellations. With the edits, there also will be some similar settings, so you'll be able to prevent edits X amount of hours prior to the lesson, and then you'll also be able to choose, out of all those fields, which ones will they be able to edit. Last, we have an open and close time that is going to be independent from your hours of operation. So maybe you open at 7 a.m., but lessons don't start until 7. You would be able to mark that on the scheduler so that, even though you open at 5 a.m., members won't be able to book any lessons until 7 a.m. And then same with that close time. So maybe you stop doing lessons earlier than when you close. You would be able to set that up on the scheduler without impacting your hours of operation. We also have the is unavailable checkbox here. So if you ever have days where you're not doing lessons, maybe you only do them 3 or 4 days out of the week, you can just check off the days where you're not doing lessons. So once you have all that set up, we'll be able to save this. And then you will see that scheduler on this Book a Pro setup page. If you ever need to edit it, you can go here and edit it as well. From the member perspective, you're now going to see that scheduler. Had a few settings that I needed to delete in order for it to show now. But so when you go over to the member portal, as long as the scheduler is open for the present day, so I had mine set to November 1st, so I wasn't able to see it. As long as it is a day where the scheduler is supposed to be available for members, you will see that Book a Pro button on the header. Here you will get a scheduler that is broken down by each instructor that you have on the scheduler. So here, we'll be able to see each instructor that's available, and members will be able to book their lessons here. So I hope that helps. If you have any additional questions, again, please feel free to reach out over to live chat. It's that green icon in the top right corner, and we'll be happy to help in any way that we can. All right, hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.